Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for January, is it the 30th? 30th, I think, 2022. So, this week was a lot better than the last couple weeks. I've given you updates kind of at the end of my videos to kind of just talk about how the stress I've been going through. This week was much better. I still had a lot of training this week, and I'm going to do a couple more days this next week when I go down to another plant or another shop that's close to where my parents live, so I'll stay with them for 2 days. So it's like things are moving forward, and I'm actually kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel of how things will be once we get everything set up. I'm feeling a lot better about my new position and what I'm going to get to do. And I think it's definitely going to be a better job for me, as in less stress once we get past all this transition part, because the transition is being switching over from how we used to do certain things to the way that they want the parts room to be, and that's going to be a whole thing. But I think as soon as we get past that, it'll work much nicer, where it'll definitely be a job again where I can walk away after I leave for the day. Because right now, my mind, like this morning, I woke up early because I went to bed early because I'm so tired recently, that I was just thinking about the things I need to do for work. I'm like, it's Sunday, I don't need to do that, and yet I was thinking all this stuff. So I want to get to the point where I'm not doing that anymore, because I think it takes up too much brain power anyway. So just as a quick update, I am doing much better that way. Stress is still there, but it's not as bad as it was. I still eat out way too much, and I'm still pretty lazy when I get home. So I'm hoping to get to where I start doing more things, and I am going to actually cook for lunch today to have leftovers for this week for the part where I'm not in training. So we'll see how those enchiladas turn out. Anyway, so that's kind of my update. I just wanted to put it out there that I am doing better, and I'm just trying to make it through. So let's talk about the books that I did read this week, which I actually finished a few things, but they're mostly small things and rereads, so don't get excited. As I said, my reading's really messed up. So anyway, so we'll talk about the ones I finished, the things I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week, which could change on a dime, let me just tell you. So the first thing I finished was a book I got from the library on last Sunday, was The Field Guide to Dumb Birds of North America by Matt Cant. And this was just a funny little book about birds in North America, where he draws a picture and then he calls them different names. Like this one's Dumb Western Bluebird, which is actually the Western Bluebird. And then he tells a little story, either if there's a story that he has connected to a certain bird, or if he just thinks they do something stupid, like they sing all the time, or something, they make noises all the time, or they're destructive of some sort. And it's just funny. It's really funny. I saw the second book, which from on the Pals Instagram website. And I was like, oh, what's that book? So I looked for the first book, and they had it at the library. So it was just a quick, fun read. It was nice to just read something that didn't take me long. And his drawings are, as I said, they're just funny. And as I said, it was fun. It was just worth it. It'd be a good joke gifter for somebody who's a bird watcher. I think it's a good one. Like, I'm thinking about getting my dad that book for something, just because it's funny. I don't know. He likes to watch for birds. The next thing I finished was my reread of Written and Read by Anne Bishop. This is the first book in the Others series, which is one of my favorite series of all time. So I figured I picked this up as a comfort read again during all my stress, which makes sense because, again, it's one of my favorite books. I love these characters. It's one of my favorite ensemble casts. I mean, there's only a few books I would say are like my favorite ensemble cast. This is one of them, and I just really enjoy it. It's an alternative history, urban fantasy, where the world is different, where there are the others who are the shapeshifters and the vampires and other things that roam mostly in the woods, but there are these cities that have courtyards where they live there in order to watch over the humans who they don't trust. And it's kind of the balance between humans and the others. And so it has like all these elements of nowadays with the technology and stuff, and yet it's kind of like, as I said, it's like kind of fantasy world, like where they can only go certain places, and no one goes out into the woods away from these towns because there are things out there that you don't want to deal with. And we follow Meg, who stumbles into this courtyard and takes the job there, and she's on the run for things from something that happened in her life, or that she's dealing with. And then we get to meet Simon, who is one of the shapeshifters who runs that courtyard, and their relationship, and then the whole group of people that they work with, the humans as well as the others. And it's again one of my favorite series. It's a 5-book of the main series, of the Others series, and they have a spin-off. So I think I was thinking about this because the spin-off series 3rd book is coming out, and I have not read that spin-off series yet. I've been putting it off because I'm afraid to, well, when I looked at it, it's written differently. It has that thing where some POVs are in 1st person and some are in 3rd. And after having 3rd person all through these, it was hard for me to make that transition. So I think now it's been couple of years since I read the whole series a couple times. I did reread it right away after I read it the first time, and I've read it kind of here and there in the last couple of years. So I think I'm going to try to read the new series and try to get caught up for the new book, even though I probably won't buy the new book. I'll probably have to get that from the library because it'll be hardback. So anyway, so I read this. This is fun. Again, highly recommend this series. I just love these characters and the way the whole series goes. It's, again, one of my favorites, which is why I picked it up when my reading kind of goes downhill and I need to pick up rereads. I pick up my favorite books, and it's definitely one. I don't plan to continue the reread of that series right now, but you know, we'll see what happens. But I did, after that, decide I could pick up one of the books I had put down when all the stress hit, and that is Neon Gods by Katie Roberts. So this is the first book in I think it's the Dark Olympus series. I loved this book. Like, I expected to enjoy it. It is it's a romantic, kind of erotic retelling of Hades and Persephone. But I love these characters. Hades. I just love Hades. So we're following Persephone, who goes to a party in Olympus, in the upper city where Zeus rules, and she is pretty much given to Zeus as his fiance to become the new Hera, and she freaks out because that was not her plan. Her mother set her up, who is Demeter, and she finds herself running towards the lower town for different reasons, and she meets Hades, and Hades has been kind of a myth that nobody knows about because of what had happened to his parents. They had kind of kept him hidden, and so it's this. And the lower city is different from the upper city, and there's they have to cross the Styx, but they're not supposed to. Certain people, and of course, that's the underworld, is the lower city. And I think it was really a cool world building. It's kind of a modern, kind of mafia-ish in that way, just a little bit with power structures, and then you have the Greek characters and the people in it. There are some of the side characters I can't wait till they get their books because they're just so interesting. But I liked Persephone, and I liked her a lot, and I liked how this went in her journey in this book. Hades he was one of those grumpy, one who has the big, looks big and or kind of mean and everything, but he's got the heart of a teddy bear. I just loved him. Anyway, there were so many things about this I liked. So I am excited to continue the next book, which is Electric Idol, which I'll probably get to fairly soon, just because this was so much fun. And I'm glad I came back to it, because again, I was reading it and then I set it down when everything changed in my work life. So I'm glad I got back to it and finished it, and I'm really excited to continue that series. I have not read her Wicked Villains series, or the one with the Disney villain ones. I have the first one on ebook, so I might try that at some point, but I love this series so far, so I'll probably continue that one. Then on Friday, I finished The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams. I was listening to this on audio by Andrew Wincott. So this is one of my favorite books of all time, one of my favorite series of all time. Noticing a theme here with my rereads. I love this book. Anyway, so this is book 1 in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorns series. I think the last time I read it was, I think I figured out was 2016, before the new series, the Last King of Osterner, came out, because there's a companion, or another series. So, anyway, Memory Star on Thorn is epic fantasy. We're following Simon in this world where things are going badly. He lives in the castle. He's just a kitchen boy who becomes one of the scholars' apprentices, and then things just go out of control. Poor guy. Anyway, but this, I just love this. It's just, again, a good epic fantasy. I've read it more times. I just don't remember how many times I've read it. I know it's 6 or 7 rereads so far. I just totally adored this. This is the first time I did it on audio, which I enjoyed. It was a different, because I couldn't pick up to read all the time, so I thought it was great to do the audio, and I might do the rest of the series by audio from my library, just to get caught up, because the second series, The Last King of Osterner, which follows the 3 books in this series and a crossover, or a in-between book, and then The Last King of Osterner series has 2 books out right now. The 3rd book is coming out in July, and I think the 4th one is coming out early next year. So I think I might do all the rereading audio until I get the 3rd book physically in end of July, and then I'll read that physically, because I always read the hardbacks physically, because it's one of the only hardbacks I ever buy is for Tad Williams and a couple other ones. So anyway, I really enjoyed this book. I totally recommend the series. There's a lot here, but there's so many characters. It's, again, another great cast of characters that I just adore, and it always hurts me, certain things that happen when they happen, and I'm like, oh, I forgot that was going to happen there, and it's just, so I'm looking forward to continuing on. I hope to pick up Stone of Farewell next month, but we'll see how my reading goes. And then yesterday I read a couple books that I got from my library that came in. A couple graphic stuff. So I have a manga, Cant Communicate, by Tomohito Oda. This is translated by John Weary. This is volume 16. So now I'm caught up to the series. Well, now I have to wait for them to come out, and then for my library to get them, and then for me to get them. So it's going to take a little bit to get the last couple of volumes, at least, that so far are out. So this is volume 16. It's a college, or not college, it's high school kids. And we're following Kami, who has like social anxiety issues where she can't talk in public. And so she comes off as this ice princess in the very beginning, and she doesn't have any friends because everybody just thinks she thinks they're all below her, kind of thing, because she just cannot get words out. And she meets Tadano, and he realizes she's having trouble, and he actually tries to help her, and then she decides that she wants to make 100 friends by the time she finishes high school. So we're getting her to meet friends in her classrooms and outside of class, and she and Tadano and a lot of their friends do these journeys. This is just like a normal high school thing. Like I said, I like the beginning more than I am like now. It's just kind of, it's going on and on. So I'm not sure how long this series is. But I'm still enjoying it enough to keep continuing reading it, because I just think it's cute. And it's a nice little palate cleanser. Like, again, it doesn't take me long. And it's really the only active manga I'm reading right now, which I need to find another series. I just haven't really looked for one. Everyone I've tried so far recently, or the last couple months, I have not connected with, so I never read more. But this is the only one I'm reading actively right now, which I should probably find another one. And then I got my hold for this book, and this was a major disappointment for me. So, and that is Lore Olympus, Volume 1 by Rachel Smith. Okay, so this is a Hades and Persephone retelling. It's the whole Greek pantheon as well, and so it's a very pretty book. Some of it's very dark. Colors, sometimes it's really bright. It was a webtoon comic, I believe, and now they're being collected as into volumes. And I'd heard so many things about this since they came out on BookTube, and I just was like, okay, well, I'll get it from my library, and it took a long time for me to get it. So I finally got it. And again, I just read Hades Persephone's retelling in Neon Gods, and I was I was like, okay, well maybe Hades and Persephone is my thing. Maybe I need to read more of these, because I have not, that's not been one I've ever read a lot of, I guess. I just haven't. Oh, I did not like this. I know I am not, okay, I'm going to say I'm not the target audience for this. I really like Greek mythologies and stuff like that. I like a lot of that, but I'm really not a drama person. And this felt like college drama. And to me, this felt very new adult and very, you know, not really, I don't want to say not realistic, because that's not what I mean. I really do mean it felt like I was in college. And okay, I've been out of college for quite a long time. I don't really like the feelings of what it was like back in college. And I liked parts of it. Like, I liked the Hades in here. I liked him mostly. And I liked some of the pining that you get in here, which is what most people were talking about. And between him and Persephone. And I get that. But there is a scene near the end. Like, I would say 85-90% of the way through this book, and a scene happens, and I almost threw this book, and the only reason I didn't throw this is because this is a library book, so I was not going to damage it, but I would have DNF'd it at that point, just because a character does something that's not good, and the other character lets it happen. To me, it felt like lets it happen. Made a really bad decision. Really, really bad. And again, this is really college feeling to me. Except the fact that I don't want to tell what it is, but the point is, for me, it was something that I would have like been so angry about or done something about, and it didn't. And it was, and I don't understand it, because I guess that's it. So I even woke up last night just thinking about this, going, that was horrible. I hate that. And I don't want to spoil it, but just say, let's just put it this way. I think it's really an interesting take on it. Again, it's a very updated Hades Persephone. You know, they got cars and cell phones, and I think it's really funny that I read this so close to Neon Gods. That's how my library hold came in. Because I liked, even though there were a lot of things the same between the two, I liked that one a lot better because the decisions made were adult and they made sense to me. This, again, did not make sense to me, and it just made me mad. And a lot of things, again, it really felt college, and I think that's what it was like. It's just not for me. It's just, I am beyond that. And I got so angry. And I don't want to tell you what it is, because I mean, I know people love this, and I know other people will like be like, oh, well, that was no big deal, that's realistic. No, I don't think it was. I think they made a wrong decision, and it made me mad. Just because it made no sense with the way this book was going and the time frame and what had happened in the last 24 hours. It made no sense to me. So anyway, that was a fail for me. I will not be continuing that series. And goes back to the library as soon as I can. Anyway, okay, I've ranted. I don't want to tell you. It was a rant. Anyway, point is, didn't like that. Okay, so let's talk about the books that I'm in the middle of. After I finished the Dragonbone Chair, I still had to drive back for my training, so I put on The Valley of Fear by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the 7th book, I guess, in the Sherlock Holmes series, so it's the 4th novel. And it's one I've not read before, so this is all new to me, so this is really great, because again, the last couple have been, I mean, I think I'd only read as far as The Hound of the Baskervilles before, so I think right now I read the last short story collection before this, and then this one, and then 2 more short story collections after this, and then I'll be done with Sherlock Holmes. But anyway, so I'm listening to it on audio by Stephen Fry, which is excellent. I just did the first section of The Valley of Fear, so I've done about 60 pages, and I think I have another 70 or 80 pages left of it. So again, I'm tracking it in here because this is on my bind-ups, but again, I'm listening to it on audio. Again, just Sherlock Holmes is just one of those ones I've always wanted to finish the whole series. I just never did. And I just want to get it, actually get to it so I said I've read them all. So I'm enjoying this one. Again, The Valley of Fear. We're following Sherlock Holmes and Watson as they go help with this mystery of this guy who was killed in his home, that had like a moat and had a gate thing, and he was killed with a sawed-off shotgun. And the mystery is actually pretty interesting so far of what had just happened, because I stopped right where the audiobook breaks to the next section. So I read part 1, and I think there's part 2 or 3 in this. So anyway, as I said, I'm really enjoying it. I'll probably get a little bit more of this listened to today when I have to cook at lunchtime for my enchiladas that I'm making myself make. And then hopefully I'll finish the Valley of Fear this week. I probably won't continue on with the last 2 sections yet. I think I'll probably take a break and then come back to it. I'll read something else. I'm not sure what though. So I don't know what audio I'll pick up for sure next. Yesterday, I guess Friday, I started Catherine of Aragon, The True Queen by Alison Weir, which is the first book in the 6 Tudor Queens series. I've never read Alison Weir before, but this is some of her fiction. I have quite a few books of hers on my shelf. This one and another fiction book, and then I have one of her nonfiction, and I think I might even have an audiobook of hers. Nonfiction. So I've been staring at this for the last couple months. I'm going to read that. I'm going to read that. Well, I finally picked it up. And I'm not sure this is the right time for this because it is so historical fiction about Catherine of Aragon, the first, who will be the first wife of Henry VIII. So again, it starts from when she arrives in England in 1501, and then her marriage to Henry's older brother Arthur. And again, I said, this one's one of those things where I know a lot about Catherine. I mean, not like little details, but just like the overall picture. So I know what's coming, and I already feel sorry for her and of things that are gonna happen. So I am enjoying this. I'm only 50 pages in of a 600-page book, so this is gonna take me a while, but I'm gonna try to read it. I mean, maybe not straight, but at least try to work on it here and there. As I said, because I need to read more of my historical fiction. I want to read it, but I don't know. There's just some... Right now I'm having trouble focusing on it. But as I said, I read some of this yesterday and hope to read some today. We'll see how that goes. I am returning to Paladins Grace by T. Kingfisher, which is another book that I put down when all the stress hit at work. This is, again, a library book. Luckily, it renewed. So I'm only 92 pages in, and I think it's like 400 pages. Oh yeah, it's about 400 pages. So it's the first book in this series. I don't know what they call the series. I don't know if it's the Paladin series or what. But anyway, so far this is really good. This is following Stephen, who is a paladin whose god suddenly died a few years before and wreaked havoc through his whole order. And now only a few of the paladins are left, and they're being watched over by another sect, the Rats, and they so they help out with what they do. And he was out late one night, and this woman comes out, looking for help, and which was a really funny scene actually. But her name is Grace, and she's a perfumer, and so she has her own issues, and he helps her out, and then it's kind of them meeting again, and then something bad is going to happen right where I stopped last night. So it's funny, and it's light. T. Kingfisher, of course, has written some of those horror novels that I read, the Twisted Ones and the Hollow Places, which I really enjoyed. I think this is more of a self-pub one. I don't know what Argyle, if that is or not, but maybe it's just independent. I don't know, or an indie press. I'm not sure. But I'm really enjoying this. I was enjoying it before I put it down because of stress. And then, but I think I'm going to try to get back to this and finish this, because this is definitely, if it goes, it's supposed to be adventurous and funny and humorous, and then a romance in it. So I'm hoping that that'll all really have fun, because again, I like the characters, and the world building has been interesting so far. I kind of want to see where it happens. It looks like things are going to go down right where I stopped last night. So I do want to continue that. And then I am hoping this week is the week I'm not promising, where I can start reading some of the Vikanth de Breglion, again, by Alexandre Dumas. This is translated from the French by David Coward. I have that memorized because I've said it so often. So again, I would like to get this done before March, because March I want to pick up another French classic, and that's going to take me all month in March. So I want to get this done. So I still have, I'm only on page 124, and I think it's like 650 pages. So I have 525 pages about to read. So I'm thinking if I start it today, or even if I start February 1st, if I just read 17 to 20 pages a day and try to get through this book, I know I'm going to like it as soon as I get in it. I've just, as I said, I started it last year, or end of 2020, I started it, and I read it a little bit in last January. And then I set it down and I never got back to it. So I am determined to finish the book 3 of the Three Musketeers series, or the D'Artagnan romances. I need to make progress in this. I want to finish this series. I'm not going to finish the series this year, but I want to make progress. And I need to at least read this one, and I want to read at least one other one, if not 2 other ones. So to do that, I have to read this one. And it's not bad. It's just, there's a lot of notes, and I like to read all the notes because there's so much history in here. It's 1660s. D'Artagnan is now in his 50s, and he and the others are all getting caught up again in a lot of the political intrigues between France and England. And again, I just love this stuff. Anyway, I just want to get back to this. So the point is that I'm hoping, as I said, I figured out that to get it done by the end of February, I have to read between 17 and 20 pages a day, depending if I start today or if I start Monday, and then get this done. Anyway, so that's all that this week I did actually, as I said, I'm glad I finished a few things. I am going to mark on my board. Isn't it funny that I started another series? That is all I'm doing this month, is starting series, which is not good for me. I'm not gonna mark anything else because I didn't finish. Well, I mean, I finished other things, but they're all rereads, so they're not gonna count. Well, I guess I could put duh. I had 2 rereads. I did have a reread mark, so there you go. That's all I've done so far. And then the other things were just little. I'm not gonna count the bird book as nonfiction because, I mean, it is technically, but you know what I mean. Anyway. Oh well. So that's it. What are you guys reading? How's your reading going? Are you glad that January is almost over? Because I am. I mean, I'm hoping February will be better. I still think there'll be a lot of stress involved with the changes. As I said, I'll be going down for training on Wednesday and Thursday, we think. So that'll be nice because I'll get to see my parents. They've been looking forward to that. And then, but I'll get to do that. And then again, we're just going to have to do a lot of work where I'm at to get it all set up. But I think once it's set up, I think it'll be great. I just need to get to that point. So I think another couple months is going to be a little stressful, but I'm hoping that it's getting better. And we'll see how my reading goes. As I said, I at least got stuff done. It was all over the place, but those rereads saved me, is all I got to say. So anyway, that's it. I probably will have out my TBR-ish tomorrow. And then maybe my book haul the day after. We'll see. And that's, again, I still have another video floating around of a triad chapter that I did in December that I haven't posted, but I just haven't had time to go back to that. So maybe that'll come up too. I don't know. We will see. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. What are you guys reading? Let me know, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.